Let's kick things off with a pretty wild thought. What if your past, your present, and your future aren't sequential, but are all happening at the exact same time? It really sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? But it's a very real possibility that physicists have been wrestling with for over a century. So today, we're going to try and unravel the incredible paradox of time.
I mean, just think about that question. It's a radical idea that goes against everything we feel is true. Our lives feel like a story, right? A story that's unfolding one moment at a time. But what if the entire book, every single page, is already written? As we're about to see, our best theories in physics actually give us two completely different and totally contradictory answers.
Okay, so before we dive off the deep end with all the mind-bending physics, let's start with what just feels, well, natural. How do you and I actually experience time? For most of us, it's like a river flowing in one single direction.
You can think of this as the movie model of the universe. Every moment is like a single frame of film. The past is just the reel that's already played and is now in the can. The future, that's the part that hasn't been filmed yet. And only the present frame, the now, is what's truly real. This just feels right, doesn't it? But it is not the only possibility.
Now, I want you to imagine a totally different model. Instead of a movie reel, think of a solid block. A block that contains every single moment that ever was and ever will be. In this block universe, your birth, this very moment right now, and even your death, they're all equally real, all existing simultaneously. The future is already there, just waiting for you to get to it. I know that block universe idea feels deeply wrong, but here's the kicker. It's a direct consequence of one of the most successful, most tested theories in all of science, Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. You see, Einstein completely changed the game. He showed us that space and time aren't two separate things. Nope. They're woven together into this single four-dimensional fabric called space-time. And here's the crucial part. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. This one simple fact has absolutely massive consequences for what we call now. So what this really means is that your now is just your personal slice of this giant space-time block, and someone moving differently from you will have a totally different slice, a different now. In other words, there is no single universal now for everyone in the universe. Let's make this more concrete with a thought experiment. This is a huge idea to get your head around, so let's use a little thought experiment to make it clearer. Imagine 3 alien spaceships, millions and millions of light years away from us. Okay, let's break this down. The first ship is just kind of hovering there. It's not moving relative to you, so its slice of space-time is the same as yours. You both experience the same now. Simple enough? But the second ship is flying away from you. Its motion actually tilts its slice of now into your past. So for those aliens, their present moment is your year 1924. And for the third ship, which is flying towards you, its now is tilted into your future. Its present is your year 2124. So who's right? Which one of these nows is the real one? Well, relativity tells us they all are. This is a principle that physicists call cosmic democracy. Basically, there's no special, privileged observer in the universe. Everyone's now is just as real as everyone else's. And this leads to a conclusion that is just staggering. If your past, your present, and your future can all be someone else's now, and all nows are equally real, well then all of time must exist simultaneously. It's like Einstein himself basically said, the distinction we make between past, present, and future is really just an illusion, even if it's a stubbornly persistent one. I mean, really think about what this means. If the future already exists, then it's set in stone. The entire universe is like a finished book, and we're just characters turning the pages. This raises some seriously deep questions about free will, right? If the future is already written, are our choices just an illusion? Are we just acting out a pre-written script? But just when you're starting to get comfortable, or maybe very uncomfortable, with the idea of a completely predetermined universe, another branch of physics comes along and throws a massive wrench into the whole thing. Yep, just when the block universe seems to have it all figured out, the other pillar of modern physics, quantum mechanics, shows up to the party and basically flips the entire table over. And it tells a very, very different story, one of pure randomness, uncertainty, and a little bit of chaos. You see, according to quantum physics, some events in the universe are fundamentally random. Take a radioactive atom. It could decay in the very next second, or it could sit there for a million years without doing a thing. We can calculate the probability, sure, but no one, not a supercomputer, not an oracle, no one can predict with absolute certainty when it will happen. And these tiny random events can have huge consequences, like causing a genetic mutation that leads to a whole new species. And this creates a huge paradox. How can the future be set in stone, already existing in that block of time, if it contains events that are truly fundamentally random and unpredictable? It can't be both written and unwritten at the same time.
So how do we solve this thing? How do we get these two ideas to play nice? Well, some physicists have proposed a third model, one that tries to reconcile the certainty of relativity with the randomness of quantum mechanics. It's called the growing block theory.
Welcome to the growing block universe. In this model, the block is only made up of the past, which is fixed, it's real, it's done. The present is this thin, kind of bumpy layer on top of that block made of all the individual nows happening all over the universe. And as new, uncertain quantum events become certain, as atoms finally decay and people make choices, that present layer moves forward, crystallizing into the past and creating new time as it goes.
Now, this growing block idea is really appealing because it seems to give us the best of both worlds. It respects that big idea from relativity that everyone's now is equally real, that cosmic democracy, but it also allows for a genuinely open, unwritten future, which fits perfectly with all the randomness we see in quantum mechanics. Okay, so we've looked at 3 very different ways of understanding time. After all this, which one is it? Which one is correct? Where does modern science actually stand on all this? All right, let's do a quick recap of the 3 main contenders. First, you've got the intuitive movie model. Then there's the mind-bending block universe from relativity. And finally, the hybrid growing block. Each one has a totally different take on what's real and what's yet to come. And the simple, maybe a little frustrating, honest answer is, we don't know. The true nature of time is still one of the deepest, most profound, unsolved mysteries in all of science. Physicists are still trying to figure out these fundamental contradictions.
And believe it or not, these 3 models aren't even the only ideas out there. Some physicists argue that time itself might not be fundamental at all, but something that just emerges, kind of like how wetness emerges from water molecules. Others suggest it's all just an illusion created by our brains trying to make sense of the world. The possibilities are wild.
Look, the mystery of time is one of the most profound questions we can possibly ask. It touches on everything from the fabric of reality to the very meaning of our own choices. So we could go on, but speaking of the future, what about yours? Is it already written, or are you about to create it? By, say, missing that bus?